Johnny Cash was born in Kingsland, Arkansas, but from the time he was 3 until graduating high school, he lived here in this house in Dyess in the northeast part of the state. And the hard life on the Delta would later greatly influence his music.
Every night when I go to bed, I thank the Lord that my kids are fed. They live on beans 8 days a night, but I get 'em fat come picking time. Get 'em fat come picking time.
Cash's restored boyhood home is actually located west of Dyess on County Road 924. It was part of a Depression-era agricultural resettlement colony. Families were given a home and 20 acres of farmland with the understanding that if they were successful, they would pay back the government. Cash's family was one of about 500 who moved to this area. Johnny Cash's boyhood home is one of several Arkansas heritage sites that Arkansas State University has restored and operates. The sites are of regional and national significance in the Arkansas Delta.
I think they did a wonderful job restoring it. You know, the workmanship and everything is really good, and I've done a fair amount of remodeling and repair, and there's a lot of work went in here and a lot of thought, and they've done a great job on putting it all back original, you know, down to the linoleum flooring and all the furniture and stuff. I can't see how they could have done a better job.
Attention has been paid to every little detail, not just the furnishings, but to also make the house look like it's still lived in. The books on Johnny's bed that he enjoyed reading, and Mrs. Cash's purse tossed on her bed as if just getting home from church. Well, Dr. Ruth, I am just, I don't know, you know, walking through here, it just kind of gives me goosebumps. It really is amazing, and I understand that this is the original family piano.
It is, and you know, we had no idea that we had this, and we were walking through the house with Joanne Cash, Johnny's youngest sister, one day, and she said, now Mama's piano's set right here, and the mayor said, well, I think we have that original piano, and it turned out that Mrs. Cash, when they left here, had donated it to the church, and the church had given it to the community center, and it was in a back room at the community center. So now it's back home.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And all these family photos, that's where they were. That's basically.
We have been very fortunate in this whole project that both Joanne and her younger brother Tommy, who are the only two living siblings, have phenomenal memories. I mean, they were born in this house and they basically grew up here. They remembered where every stick of furniture was, every picture, and I mean, they basically said, okay, we had school pictures here, we had a family picture, we had, Mama always had fresh flowers right here, we had the coal oil lamp. I mean, down to what's said on every stick of furniture.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And that ice box. And
Isn't that great? Yeah, and you know, we thought that would be the hardest thing to find because Joanne said our icebox, it was this ugly apple green and it had these tan doors, and we thought, where are we going to find that? But that was one of the first things that we found.
And the kitchen, the stove, everything, the way they...
The stove, we managed to find a stove just like they had, and that kitchen sink, all the colony houses had exactly the same sink, and this one was gone, but we found in another colony house they still had the original sink, so we were able to move that over here. And that was the beauty of this project, is so much of what we didn't have we were able to salvage out of a lot of other colony houses.
How does this all make you feel, you know, to have something like this restored, and to now people are coming from all over to see it?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I'm thrilled because for many, many years people were driving by here. I mean, people have driven by here when it wasn't open and when it was in private hands, and would think that this is where Johnny Cash lived. And it was run down, it was deteriorated, it was about to fall in. And people were saying, wow, that's where Johnny Cash lived. Well, he didn't really live in a place like that. He lived in a brand new house. This was a new government house. And in fact, Johnny has commented that when they moved in, there were still 5 empty cans of paint on the floor from the fresh paint outside. And so to see it restored back to the way it looked when the day they moved in is really a sense of pride for all of us at Arkansas State University. And I think the Cash family kind of summed it up for us when they walked through after we'd finished. And Tommy said, Arkansas State University has brought back the love that filled this house. And I think that was great. I thought, what greater compliment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Part of the funding for Cash's Boyhood Home restoration and support for a scholarship fund in his name comes from the annual Johnny Cash Music Festival at Arkansas State University, which draws some of the top names in country music. +60,000 visitors are expected to make their way into Dyess annually to tour the place the man in black called home. At 98 years young, Violet Hensley of Yellville is referred to as Arkansas's Fiddle Queen. In 2004, she was named an Arkansas Living Treasure by the Arkansas Arts Council. Violet began playing the fiddle when she was 12. 3 years later, she started making them, since fiddle playing and fiddle making runs in the family.
My father, George Washington Brumley, when he was 14 years old, wanted to play the fiddle, and his older brother, Uncle Sam Brumley, had a fiddle and wouldn't let him play it. So he made his own fiddle, made his own design by driving nails around in a board shape of a fiddle. And eventually he made more and developed a frame like this. Then when I was 15, I wanted to be like him, different, make my own. So I asked him if I could make a fiddle one day. I said, I want to make a fiddle. He said, there's the wood and the tools, just go at it. So I wanted to make mine different, to make it all by myself like he did his. I cut it down to once. I didn't know it was a 16th size, but I learned later it was. I just folded a piece of paper and cut out and then opened it up and put it down this and sawed it out.
And this is the exact same rim press that you used?
The exact same rim press I used. Right there. Well, I moved around. We moved around at pillar to post, and I lost a piece. When I went to work at Silver Dollar City, I had to make a new piece out of plywood. I had lost one piece. But these are the exact thing that I made my first fiddle on.
Throughout her years, Violet has made 73 fiddles and currently plays the one she made in 1934.
Then this is number 4, and it's 80 years old, still playable.
And this is the one that you play mostly?
This is one I play mostly because, well, my husband traded it off once, but we got it back. When I got married, I had been playing for square dances. I never gave it a thought to. I was married, I never give it a thought. Well, let's trade the fiddle off. We got it back. Then after got moved to another place, and people thought it was something that I played the fiddle, and we started back playing after 27 years. Not playing that one right there. One man told me if I'd have kept up playing 27 years, I'd have been a good fiddler.
I just noticed who this is signed here. Ricky Skaggs. How about that?
Yeah, he liked it. He played 3 tunes on it and then handed it to one of his crew. Said, "Here, Bob." Bob played a tune. Then I had to quickly do a little, it's time for them to go on stage. It was backstage at Silver Dollar City. And I told my leader over there that I wanted to meet Ricky Skaggs. He said, "I think we can manage that." So went down there and I said, "I want to take my fiddle short to him." So I did a little bit of ragtime handing this time, then go on stage then.
By the way, Violet did more than just make fiddle number 4. She also acquired the wood for it.
We actually cut the tree down with a cross-cut saw and chopping axe, took an axe and split it out. Then hand-planed it smooth. Maple, back, sides, and neck. And a pine tree, they said pine couldn't use anything but spruce and special wood made for violin, but my dad used it all the time out of this pine basswood. And pine for the top, dogwood tailpiece. I tried to stain that in black, but it didn't stain very good. And a walnut fingerboard and persimmon for pegs.
Out of the 73 fiddles Violet made, only 8 remain in the family. The rest were either given away or sold. Her eyes are not the same as they used to be for making fiddles, so now she just enjoys playing them. And so, along with her son, grandson, son-in-law, and yours truly accompanying on wooden spoons, we spent an afternoon in Violet's kitchen playing and enjoying that sweet Ozark folk music. We were looking at all those pictures you have here. My goodness, you've all the celebrities. Glenn Campbell, you've been on Captain Kangaroo, Live with Regis, Art Linkletter, Alex Trebek, and my goodness,
Didn't get one of Charles Kuralt.
Yeah, Charles Kuralt, that's right.
Charles Kuralt came here for 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah,
Wow.
he set up his big equipment. Yeah, I was working at the hospital. And he had to wait till Sandy and LaWanda got home from college to see them. And then had a dirt street then. My husband had to take his...
Winnebago?
Yeah, he said help pull his Winnebago up the hill. He parked it down here, and my husband had what he called a carry-all. He hooked onto it and got him up to the pavement.
Violet Hensley, Arkansas's fiddle queen and an Arkansas living treasure. She ought to write a book, you say? Well, she has. Whittlin' and Fiddlin' My Own Way. Break it down, Violet. Break it down.
Hey, for the little black houses. Ho, for the little black houses. Hey, for the little black houses. Black houses and brown. And told me what to pay for the little black houses. Oh, for the little black houses. Hey, for the little black houses. And black houses and brown. I love my wife and love my baby. I love my biscuits soft and gravy. Hey, pretty little black-eyed Susan. Oh, pretty little black-eyed Susan. Hey, pretty little black-eyed Susan. Black-eyed Susan brown.
Wow. Now I see what keeps you young.
Yep, you gotta have a little fun along in life. You ain't gonna live but one life. Enjoy while you're at it.
There you go. If you haven't heard of the name Mary Parker, I guarantee you will in the near future. Mary Parker is a multi-state fiddle champion who lives in Mountain View, where we caught up with her during a performance at the Ozark Folk Center. Well, Mary, my goodness, the first time we met was at the Arkansas Folk Festival a couple years or so ago.
It was, yes, sir.
And you have been quite the busy girl.
Thank you very much,
then.
yeah.
Tell us, I mean, you perform here at the Folk Center, you perform at Silver Dollar City. Where else do you perform?
I usually go around some places. I go to church gigs, some other theaters outside from town, here in town. Next week I'm going to North Carolina to play at the IBMA festival, and then Tulsa, all over mostly, yes, sir.
So tell me, how did your musical career begin? Who was it that would play an important role, and how are you mostly somebody else? I understand was inspirational to you and teaching you as well.
Yes, sir. First of all, I used to watch RFD a lot, and I saw a fiddle in there, and it inspired me. I've always wanted, and I got my dad. We came to Mountain View, and I told him, "Give me a fiddle. I want to learn how to play that." So he got me one, and we went over to the music store here in town. Miss Shay Poole, I asked her if she'd give me some lessons. She said I needed another year to grow into the fiddle I got. So I was about 4 at the time, and about a year later, I came back and I started fiddle, and I went from there.
4 years old.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's something. And you've been taking lessons from a certain individual. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. First of all, I started with Miss Shay Poole for several years, and then I take from Roger Fountain. He teaches at the Music Growth program, and I'm currently taking lessons from Deanie Richardson.
Deanie Richardson played fiddle for such greats as Vince Gill and Patty Loveless. She's a teacher and a mentor to many young musicians, nurturing the next generation of bluegrass pickers. Now, your current band, Mary Parker and the White River Ramblers, you've been together for how long now?
I pulled in different people to come play with me, but I had Kaylee Speaks. She's been playing with me for quite a while, so that's been for about, say, 4 or 5 years, I'd say. Yes, sir.
Well, your brother, Gordon, he's quite the musician and dancer.
He is, yes, sir, yep. I hope he keeps it up, too.
Now, tell us about this fiddle.
This fiddle, I think he's around 94, 95. Anyway, he makes fiddles. He gives them to a lot of kids. He regraduates them. His name is Hill Lytle. This is about several years old. This is the 600th fiddle he made.
Wow.
So he gave this one to me. Yeah.
Now, where is he?
He lives in Monroe, Louisiana. Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, that's quite the deal there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So, What are your aspirations as far as when you say 2 years from now, 5 years from now?
To be honest, I really don't know. I hope to keep on with my music, see where the Lord takes me. Yes, sir.
Well, that's a good answer.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mary, when you get to the Grand Ole Opry, and I know you will, are we allowed to go backstage with you?
You sure can. Yes, sir.
Well, that would be wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Well,
So.
I wish you all the best of luck in your
much.
career, and you just keep on keeping on.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Glad to see you again.
Yeah, nice seeing you. Randall Wyatt of Searcy is the banjo man. He not only plays them, but builds them as well for some of the best pickers in Nashville. Well, I guess as with the construction of most musical instruments, and looking here, it all starts out with a block of wood.
Yes, sir. This right here is the way we get all of our neck blanks in. They come in at either a 4x4 or a 3x3 block of wood. We'll get them in a mahogany or walnut or curly maple as this, and we'll take them down to a bandsaw and through the CNC machine. We'll cut them out in certain areas. Then we'll do our fingerboards on the CNC, and we can do these. We do our overlays also. Then we glue those on. We get a neck and shape it out, and it looks just like this right here.
Really nice. So, CNC machine.
Yes.
What exactly is CNC?
CNC stands for Computer Numerical Control. It's all done by computer. We use a CAD program. We draw our pictures. We program it through a CAM program and bring it and plug it into this computer here, and it runs this machine, and it carves our cavities, it cuts out our pearl, and does many wonderful things in the banjo world.
The heart of the banjo, as you say, starts off with a bunch of curved wood all glued together, and then it comes out like this.
Yes, sir.
Now, this isn't the way that they did it in the old days, you said. They took a big chunk of wood and actually bent it.
The old pre-style war rims was made out of 3 pieces of wood that was bent in a circle and glued together. They still make them that way. I prefer the block rim method, and that's what these are. We use different woods. We use anywhere from cherry, as this one is cherry. This one's made out of birch, and this one's birch. We make them out of walnut. We've made them out of mahogany, and even made them out of hard maple. It depends on the tone that you're looking for of what wood that you use.
And why do you prefer to do it this way versus you say it's a richer
Well, it
tone?
gives you, the wood is more relaxed.
Relaxed. wood,
And
yeah.
so it gives you a richer tone, I think. And I just prefer a block rim over a ply rim.
Randall doesn't always make entire banjos. He also builds just banjo parts for those customers who want only that.
We do these right here for Mr. Greg Rich. There's 3 of them. We've got them in 3 different stages. This one here still needs the head plate glued on and the rest of it shaped out. This one here's already got the head plate on and ready to shape out. Most of it's already done. And then we have this one here that's almost finished. Yeah. They will finish this one out themselves. They'll put the lacquer on it. So that's the way they work.
Randall currently plays with the bluegrass band Highway 36, continuing a long tradition of banjo picking.
I've always tinkered with banjo since I was 14 years old. And my dad, I've always built banjos, and my dad died in 2009. And the day before he died, he said, "Son, there's lots of things in this world that I wish I'd have done, and I never took the time to do, and I wish I had." He said, "Son, live your dream." And this has always been a dream of mine. And I had a week's vacation left at work, and I sold it back to the company, and I started buying tools. And this is the result, what we see here, of that dream starting. And I'm living the dream now.
So pay a visit for yourself to Johnny Cash's Boyhood Home here in Dyess. And a good time to do that would be the third weekend in October during the Johnny Cash Heritage Festival held right here on the grounds. And to see Violet Hensley, go to Silver Dollar City during the Autumn Festival, as with Mary Parker, who performs there during various times of the year, and at the Ozark Folk Center and at Mellon's Country Store in Mountain View. And to view this episode again, visit our website at aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you on down the road for another adventure on EA.